All right, guys, let's jump right into this. There is a lot going on in Washington over the last few days related to firearms. I've heard some stuff that might be added to some things, but because I don't have specifics on that, I'm hearing multiple things and multiple angles. What I wanted to report on was what I definitely know, and that is something that the ATF did yesterday. So the National Shooting Sports Foundation sent a letter to the ATF asking them if there was a way that FFLs could think outside the box, basically, to help relieve the logjam on the background checks in the NICS system. And what I'll do is I'll actually read you the first paragraph of the letter that came out yesterday from the ATF addressed to federally licensed firearms dealers. And what it says is this: Dear federal firearms licensee, in light of the March 13th, 2020 declaration of a national emergency concerning the outbreak of the novel coronavirus disease, COVID-19, and the Department of Homeland Security's subsequent classification of firearms businesses as essential, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives have received questions from the industry members regarding the legality of firearm sales and deliveries exterior to the brick-and-mortar structure at which the firearms business is licensed. Specifically, federal firearms licensees have requested guidance regarding whether they may verify customer identity and permit the completion of paperwork, including for purposes of the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, accept payment, and deliver firearms or ammunition to customers in the following settings. Number 1, a drive-up or walk-up window or doorway on the FFL property. Number 2, a temporary table or booth located in a parking lot on the FFL's property. And number 3, a nearby space that is not located on the FFL's property. So what they're saying is that gun shops in states that are still free, not like in my state here where the governor and the AG are conspiring to strip everybody of their Second Amendment right here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, but big lawsuits from all of the big agencies there to keep an eye on there. So what they wanted to do was to consider letting these gun shops open up and maybe deliver guns and reduce the risk of the spread of this virus. So what I'll do is I'll post the actual letter from the ATF, a link, so you can actually go read the letter in whole, and I'll tell you what it says that you can do, what the FFLs can do. The FFL may carry out the requested activities through a drive-up or walk-up window or doorway where the customer is on the licensee's property on the exterior of the brick-and-mortar structure at the address listed on the license. Number 2, the FFL may also carry out the requested activities from a temporary table or booth located in the parking lot or other exterior location on the licensee's property at the address listed on the license. But any such activities must occur in a location where the licensee has the authority to permit the ATF's entry for inspection purposes. Whether the FFL has the authority to permit such entry and whether the location constitutes the FFL's property is likely to be a FAST-specific inquiry. An FFL carrying out the requested activities from an exterior table or booth should maintain its inventory and records securely in the interior of the brick-and-mortar structure and ensure that records of each firearm transaction are stored in the interior. So number 1 said, yes, you can have your customers do a drive-up window or a walk up to the doorway where you're still on the property in which is licensed. Number 2 said you could also do something temporary outside as long as it's on your property, able to be inspected by the ATF, but your inventory, meaning the firearms, ammunition, etc., and files have to be kept inside of the brick-and-mortar structure. Now, number 3, an FFL may not carry out a requested activity from a nearby space that is not located on the licensee's property at the address listed on the license unless such activities are at a qualified in-state gun show or event. So there's no way they're going to allow gun dealers to deal from a different location, like for instance out of their home, if their home is not the actual licensed address. And number 4, an FFL may conduct non-over-the-counter firearm sales to unlicensed in-state residents who are exempt from NICS requirements in accordance with 18 U.S.C. 922C and a couple other laws. So like I said, you'll be able to read the full ATF letter. If you're an FFL, you received this yesterday. But this is weird. I didn't think the ATF would actually be flexible in allowing firearms to be sold. You don't really expect that from the government, flexibility. Now, I assume this morning as we're waking up, it's kind of early here when I'm filming this en masse, but I'm sure Moms Demand Action is going to freak out today. Every town for gun safety will freak out today. The Brady campaign will flip out. Bloomberg will probably start squawking today. And maybe even Gabby Giffords, you know, all the anti-gun czars will be saying how today's decision, well, yesterday's decision by the ATF will lead to Wild West shootouts, and the nation will perish because of that. So that's a quick update out of Washington, D.C. with what I know is a definite. I'm still digging into the other claims regarding 5717 and Nancy Pelosi. So when I get more definitive stuff on that, I will have it here. So stay tuned, subscribe to Guns and Gadgets, and hit that bell icon. Toggle that little option to all so you get to know when I put out new content here. And until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a weapon.